Hello and welcome. This is today at Best of Super Juniors. We're going to look in this episode at nights 11 and 12. We're looking at block nights, and then on the next episode, which will be tomorrow's Trooping Show, we're going to look at the semi-finals and finals and give you full reaction to today's show, which is what I'm recording, because I'm recording this on Sunday. I've had a bit of a catch-up and I'm spreading things out a little bit so I don't sound so out of breath. So we're at Korakuen Hall, 1,310 in attendance, which is a very good number for Korakuen Hall in this day and age. First night of block action, Best of Super Juniors, Robbie X gets to 10 points and defeats Daiki Nagai on his last night. This happened on the 2nd of June, that was on Tuesday. That was a cracking little match. Daiki Nagai has been absolutely the star performer of this particular Best of Super Juniors. He's been fantastic. So is Robbie X. And I've loved watching him wrestle in his natural environment, doing his natural style of wrestling. He's really grown into being a Super Junior in New Japan, and I'd probably argue he's the second or third most popular wrestler on the roster at the moment, which is phenomenal, and that showed in this particular tournament. So very pleased with both of their progress for the last night of block action. Daiki Nagai wasn't going to win any matches. Of course he wasn't. That's the way this wasn't going to work. But he did really, really well. Absolutely stunning performance in this tournament. Has really made a name for himself. Kushida defeated Yoshinobu Kanemaru. That brought them both to 8 points, 8 minutes and 22 seconds for a Block B match. We're going back and forth between Block A and Block B. Both desperate to get wins to keep themselves alive in the tournament. And it showed. Kushida's kind of like natural wrestling style of grappling has worked out really well for him in this tournament. Not so many wins at the beginning, because kind of defeated early compared to his recent form. But yeah, a lot of fun to watch as he's enjoyed his wrestling. And Yoshinobu Kanemaru enjoys being a bit of a dick. And that's how it all worked out. It was good. Francesco Akira defeated Ryosuke Taguchi, 1 minute and 54 seconds, less than 5 minutes. He was after it to try and get things done. Sorry, I'm laughing because I've just seen the road score for the next match. Francesco Akira has obviously been exceptionally aggressive in this tournament, and this was no particular change here. He was absolutely trying to score the win as quickly as he possibly could to get in and get out and save himself for the final round of the match. Taguchi suffered from the Zane J of it all, and that was it, as Marcus would say. Sho defeated Daisuke Sasaki 6.34 with help from Hideki Okatani and Illusion. Sasaki still lost to the House of Torture. This was, Damnation TA versus House of Torture. That's the way it was worked, and that's the way it was going to be. 195 from the Cage Match users. They hated this. I don't care. It meant what it was supposed to do. It was big, dumb, fun wrestling fun. I enjoyed it from an entertainment point of view. Nick Wayne defeated Valiente Jr. 7 minutes and 16 seconds. This is pretty good, actually. Nick Wayne's looked more at home in this tournament than last year, certainly, and he's more of a natural babyface now than he was a year ago. So it's all kind of slid together neatly for him, and he's still in contention on the final night. So I thoroughly enjoyed this. Good match, sir. And Valiente Jr., who's also had a pretty good son. Not seen him much before now. Absolutely had a blast with him in this tournament. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Robbie Eagles with Hartley Jackson defeated Jacob Austin Young with Zane J, 9 minutes 36 seconds. This was good too. Jacob Austin Young is still trying to show that he can hang with these guys at this level, and he can't quite yet, and that's the results of, it shows in his results of 6 points with 3 wins. Robbie Eagles is obviously a big test for him, and it showed. And the match quality was a little bit scrappy because there was lots of interference, and that's just the way it kind of goes. But absolutely was really, really good. Yeah, absolutely great for what it needed to be. Best of Super Juniors Block A match. Jun Kasai defeated Master Wato. 10-point leading both on 10-minute points at 10 minutes and 14 seconds. This gives Jun Kasai the catbird seat in the final night because he was in charge of his own destiny. Top-notch Master Wato bleeding in this match. I didn't think he'd go that far. He bladed in this match. It was as violent as you expected Jun Kasai match to be. Master Wato kind of proved he couldn't hang at this particular level and was kind of got caught up in Jun Kasai's world, which was the story of this tournament. Don't get caught up in the other guy's stuff. Just do your own match and do your own thing and don't be distracted. Wato also A little bit whiny at the end that he'd lost to Kasai, which wasn't really the babyface thing to do. You kind of need to take the win on the chin, loss on the chin, and move on. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. Though Yun Kasai looked absolutely wonderful in this tournament. I think he was great, and this was another match that he just did incredible things with wrestlers he shouldn't really have great matches with because they're completely different styles. Lato's an extreme wrestler, but he's kind of a different kind of extreme. I thoroughly enjoyed that. And one of the best matches of the tournament, to be honest with you. Taiji Ishimori defeated Yo, 3 minutes and 38 seconds. This was quick. Ishimori kind of takes the win out on Yo. It's not a lot to say that it was good. Yo's had a good tournament. I've enjoyed his work in this match, this tournament as well. It's been fun. It's been great. And Ishimori was not mucking around though. He wanted to save himself the final night as well. Kosei Fujita defeated Titan in one of the big matches of this tournament, and absolutely one of the best matches of this tournament. 12 minutes and 50 seconds, and they went after it, and it was exceptional. Really, really well done. Thoroughly enjoyed this match. Thoroughly enjoyed the way this match worked, and yeah, just great. Fujita is an absolute superstar. So is Titan, and it's impossible for either of them to have bad matches at the moment. Main event, Yo defeated El Desperado at 16 minutes and 44 seconds. One of the surprises of the tournament up until this point. I kind of had pegged El Desperado to win this and keep himself on top of the block, but Yo managed to pull out a win, put himself in a strong position for the final night, and started to build some momentum in a strong match performance. Absolutely exhausted at the end of the match, didn't even cut a promo, was just dragged out. And that was fantastic. Thoroughly enjoyed it. A wonderful, wonderful piece of work from both of them. Next night, we were back at Korakuen Hall. Slightly smaller crowd, 12,055. Sho defeated Jacob Austin Young, 3 minutes and 6 seconds. In this particular case, the House of Torture shenanigans beat the United Empire shenanigans. Jacob Austin Young had very wisely tapped some help from Jake Lee. It didn't work, as you can imagine. Big dumb wrestling match. It's alright for it was. It was going to be a big dumb wrestling match. It wasn't going to be anything serious, was it? What was serious was old enemies Taiji Ishimori and Kushida, 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Kushida bowing out of this tournament with only 3 wins. Ishimori taking the lead in the tournament along with Sho, which was really important to him, and kind of like puts him in the position of being, more of a threat in down the line. Hasn't really lost any of his aura, and will end up with the same number of points as the eventual winner of the block. It's who he lost against that caused him problems. Similar story for El Desperado. Finally beats Yoshinobu Kanemaru 5 minutes and 42 seconds in a Best of Super Juniors tournament to keep his hopes alive at the end of this particular tournament. Despy isn't going to do well unless he wins it because he's in that position as the ace of the company. He's always going to have to do well. And they're going to protect him. But this is the interesting thing. There was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm trying to think. Just on Block B alone, there were 5 people going into the final night who could have won the tournament, and the other 4 all get knocked out. And that's a bit mad and a bit 50-50 booking, and it gave people chances that kind of told a bit of a odd story. So it did feel a little bit disjointed. Now, some people didn't like this tournament. For that reason, I didn't dislike it, but I see it as I watch wrestling differently to other people. I watch wrestling as a sport, not as a story, and therefore, from my point of view, it was nice to have like surprises all along the way. I think from other people's point of views, they preferred a strong narrative they could have got behind, and I can see that point. But we're all different, aren't we? So I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's my kind of tournament with lots of twists and turns and lots of things throwing up in different kind of results, and I enjoyed it from that point of view. However, I can see where things went wrong for other people. Yo defeated Daisuke Sasaki. This was not loved by the hardcores at all. 4.37 by the cage match owners. But Yo versus Sasaki is just weirdos having a wrestling match, and I thoroughly enjoyed it from that point of view. 9 minutes and 42 seconds. I've loved Daisuke Sasaki in this tournament. It has been lovely having Sarah Kerchak on the show to explain his weird and wonderful ways to us all. And I've thoroughly enjoyed the way that Sasaki has worked as a wrestler in this particular tournament and how he's put things together. And Yo has been fantastic in the tournament and just, again, builds on the momentum from the previous match and ends up taking out the block at that particular point. So he goes through to the final with the amount of wins he has, as does the semi-final, as does Robbie Eagles, who wins over Yahio in the previous match. and that's the kind of like main event for B block, 8 minutes and 34 seconds. Kind of puts Kyo away in reasonable order and gets to his first semi-finals of a Best of Super Juniors, which is fantastic for him. Kosei Fujita then goes out and knocks out Daiki Nagai. Again, Daiki Nagai does not get any points in this tournament. No one expected him to, but his actual heart that he put into this tournament was just absolutely fantastic. And this was great. Loved him in this tournament. Kosei Fujita, as expected, number one contender and hot favourite for this tournament. Absolutely on fire in this particular match. Valiente Jr. defeated Robbie X in 8 minutes and 24 seconds. I was sad about this one because I would like Robbie X to have got to 12 points, but he didn't. He did better than he did last year, which is what his kind of like position is in the company. He is clearly so over with the fans. They love him. And Valiente Jr. was fantastic as well. This was great. This was a wonderful little wrestling match. I'm sorry for Robbie X not getting through to the semi-finals. Boo hiss, but there we go. What can you do? Raisuke Taguchi defeated Jun Kasai. Yes, I read that right. Raisuke Taguchi defeated Jun Kasai in 5 minutes and 10 seconds, which was the warning from the rest of this particular tournament. Don't get caught up in the other guy's shit. And Raisuke Taguchi has all of the shit. And Kasai got dragged into that, despite the fact he quite clearly tried very much not to, but ended up losing and therefore lost the block and finished joint second in the block with Robbie X. Oh, well, actually, joint third in the block with Robbie X. So there you go. That was that. It was big dumb wrestling match, as you'd expect. There was adrenaline injections and various other bits and pieces, and yeah, it was what you expected it to be. Francesco Akira then defeated Titan in the semi-final, 13:54, to put pressure on the final match, which, again, this was kind of a straight wrestling match. Akira kind of had Titan's number in this particular match, and though Titan got close and did better than he did last year, still hasn't shown the spark of his 2023 semi-final appearance. So yes, this was good. I thoroughly enjoyed this. I watch Titan wrestle forever. And Akira's kind of perfect foil kind of goes against what Titan is. He's fast, but he's ground-based, and Titan is fast, but he's a flyer, and that works out perfectly for both these two. Main event, Mick Wayne versus Master Wato. 14 minutes and 10 seconds, an exemplary match from Master Wato and Nick Wayne, to be fair. Kind of the perfect pairing for the final night. A straight wrestling match with two exemplary risk takers. Thoroughly enjoyed watching them go back and forth in this particular tournament. And this particular match was a great way to end the block nights. And that gets you to the end of the tournament, which meant that Master Wato went through with 12 points, and he, not Raisuke Taguchi, I'll say that again, Kosei Fujita are on 12 points based on match wins because of their ties. So that brings us to the end of block nights. I'll be talking about the semi-finals and the final night in the Troopany Show on Monday. So thank you for listening to me today. You can find me at Sheriff Lone Star on Twitter. You can find the show Troopany Show on Twitter. You can find us on Blue Sky under the same handles, and on Instagram. You can find me at Sheriff Lone Star on Instagram, Sheriff Lone Star TX, on Instagram, and you can find the show as Troopany Show on Instagram. Take care, and we'll speak to you tomorrow. Bye!